Far left, John.
Is the Game 2 starter still not to be announced? And is that all strategy, or is there a...
I can't even...
You there?
Oh, John.
Hello. Yes. Is the Game 2 starter still not announced? And is that because of a strategy?
No, it's no strategy. Well, I guess, depending on what you want to call it, win or lose. You know, the win or loss tonight will dictate who's pitches tomorrow.
Well, I would call that strategy,
That's
but okay.
somewhat strategy, but it's pretty much an open book. I think everybody's got it.
Okay. Is the blister any part of this? And if there is a blister issue, was there a consideration, and why not carry Walker or Carrasco, who actually beat the Padres a couple times?
It's not an issue. We don't foresee it to be an issue. It's one of the reasons. And if we're fortunate enough to win 2 out of 3, we're going to need a pitcher on Tuesday, starting pitcher on Tuesday.
Down here on the front on the right, Andy.
How, if at all, does that uncertainty on tomorrow's starter impact the two, Bassett and DeGrom? Are they both just being told to prepare as if they're starting tomorrow?
They know exactly what's going on. They know exactly what's going to dictate who's pitching tomorrow. It's not. I don't look at that big a strategy as far as that, but I understand that what it may. They know. They're in. They're prepared. They've known it for quite a while.
Both of them are prepared to start tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Jake usually doesn't go home. I don't care if it's a day game the next day. He usually stays around. I don't know what they'll do tonight.
Left side in the back there, Ian.
Buck, if you, in the event that you win tonight, one school of thought would be to put your best pitcher on the mound and try to end the series as quickly as possible. Is that a compelling case? And if not, why not?
There's some, well, we can talk about it after tonight. This is about tonight's game for me personally, but you can make that argument. You can also, there's always a lot of things that you have to take consideration that may not be something you're going to talk about here. But we took in all the factors of where the risk and the probabilities, and just felt like this is our best way to go forward to satisfy all the things that you may have to pivot from. But we think Chris Bassett's pretty good. He's been one of our best pitchers, and I think Jake and Max. If you look at the number of starts, Chris has been. I don't consider Chris not a good option. I consider him a real good option.
There in the middle on the left, in the back.
Hey, Buck, what made you comfortable taking Alvarez on the roster?
A lot of it had to do with the construction of their. We projected we thought they would take 4 left-handers in Manaea, and their closer being left-handed. It allows us to do some things earlier, kind of looking at where we may match up late. Also, tomorrow's game. And he's handled himself well. Really like his selectiveness the last couple of games. But he seems to, it'll get sped back up again. But he's going to be a good one. Just a matter of when.
Do you see him?
We hope it's the next three games.
Do you see him starting tomorrow?
I'm not going there yet. Let's see how tonight manages. I'm not going to get through tonight first. He's certainly a good option.
The other righty, Ruff. How is his neck, and what made?
What?
How is his neck?
Good. He's been taking some at bats for a while now, the last 4 or 5 days, and feels good. He had some really good at bats yesterday. I think he took 5 or 6, maybe more than that, between the left-hander and Tommy even. But no, he and Sterling have done a lot of work to be ready.
Okay, down in front right here on the right, Dave.
Buck, did you give any consideration to Carrasco and Walker in a bullpen role?
Sure. Yeah, we did. I talked to them both last night when we finally shored things up. Yeah, I did. That was tough. It's always tough this time of year. Regardless of who it was, you're going to be able to ask that question, and should, about somebody. Those aren't fun conversations. Heck, Tommy Hunter's tough. He's been a rock for us. Williams, tough. And I think the other part of it being a 3-game series as opposed to 5 gives a whole different dynamic to it. And I wish there was more stuff to draw from about history with that, but there isn't. It's kind of you could have made a case for taking 11 pitchers. And then all of a sudden, the other part of it is because the extra inning rule has changed, it gives you a little different something else to think about too. So, you know, 3 games, and I think Jeremy and them have done a great job of putting ourselves in, you know, in a pretty good place where if we need to extend some people, we can.
On the left there in the middle?
Buck, given McCann's career numbers against Darvish, was that a tough decision to go with Nito over him tonight?
It was. It was.
And what
really
went
figured into it, but Tomas has been one of our hotter hitters. James had a good game in the last game. And I was kidding him. I said, well, heck, we've been playing you out of position. Should be playing at first base. He actually beat me to it. He said, all this time. You know, it's funny. We looked at some of the exit velocities and different things. He's one of the more unlucky hitters on our team if you look at balls hit hard. So it gives us a good option, but it was a consideration. Yeah, I saw that.
You're going to go Howie in the front row on the left?
But given the small sample size that you saw from McGill in his new role, what sold you that he could help out of the bullpen?
A little bit of, you know, history. I think the last couple of outings, we started to see him a little more like the guy we thought we might get. And quite frankly, there's been a couple of little adjustments that Jeremy and him have made mechanically that played out real well the last 2 outings. And, you know, we just trusted it, and we'll see where it takes us. It's tough. It's a good experience for him, too, he and Pete, because we know they're going to be a part of things next year, more than likely.
Stay over there, Disha.
With Naquin not being on the roster, does that suggest more so Marte is pretty much full bore in right field, or is it more of a lefties on the mound situation?
A little bit of both. We hope. You know, I'm not going to sit here and smugly tell you that this is exactly what Starling's going to do. I'm going to be, you know, looking like everybody else is. But it's like when I was talking to Tyler. You know, this is 3 games. We feel like this is the best way for us to go against what we think is going to be thrown at us. No pun intended. And you know, things change. If we're fortunate enough to it's going to be tough to get through this. We know that. But, you know, things could change. Not this 3 games. But I hope we have the opportunity to change things. It's going to be a challenge.
Okay, far right, front row.
Historically, and it feels even more so in the last few years, teams that hit more home runs tend to do very well in the playoffs. How do you feel your offensive style lends itself to a 3-game series?
You know, we'll see. I don't mean to be, it's like, that's why we play the games. That's why it's intriguing. You know, things that appear on paper don't always play out that way. Otherwise, nobody would be here. I mean, it's like, I know what history states. You know, you know, there's been teams that, you know, you put a team together to withstand the long haul, and then it's always fascinating to see if it can handle the short one. You know, pitching usually, you know, starting pitchers sometimes that have great track records from the regular season that doesn't play out. I don't know. I wish I could watch it and critique it like everybody else is able to. I'm just glad people care enough to watch. So I hope it's entertaining.
Thanks a lot, Buck.
Harold, you watching? Shudder. Okay.
How you doing? Anytime you want. Yeah, anytime you want. I got you. Hey, what's up, Mike? How you doing, all right? Okay, as a reminder, just wait for the microphones. Okay, first question for Edwin. We got Disha in the first row on the left. Oh, Steve? Okay, she's waving for you. All right.
Edwin, your entrance has obviously become a huge spectacle here in the regular season. Have you given much thought to what coming on in a playoff game in front of these fans will be like? Should it happen tonight?
I think if I come today to the game, this place will go crazy because early in the season, when I was coming to the game, I can feel the emotion from the fans. Like even we play tough game here, and when I was coming to the game, they go crazy. And I think today it will be more electrified than ever. So I can't wait to come to the game and see the vibe from the fans.
You know, you've talked about your confidence on the mound, especially this year, and how you feel like you come into the game and the game's over, basically. Have you thought about how much potentially more difficult it will be to control certain emotions in your first playoff game and get to that level that you need to be at?
I think for me, this is another game, so I will take everything like always. I will try to control my emotion like always. I will try to do my job like always. So when Buck need me, I will come to the game. I will do my job. You know, like I say every time when they know I'm coming, they are in trouble. So I want them to feel the same thing today if Buck give me the ball.
Next question. I'm going to go right here in the front. Anthony?
Edwin, you were very open during the regular season, the pitching in the 8th inning, maybe even the 7th, if the situation called for it. You still feel the same way about those types of things in the playoffs?
Yeah, I gotta be open mind because in the 7th can come the head of the order, and we might be a tie game, winning by 1 or 2 runs. And if they need me, I will be ready because I get early to the bullpen and I will get ready when Buck need me. So I haven't talked to them, but I know they will. If they need me early in the game, like 7 or 8 innings, I will be ready.
Okay, stay down here, Lloyd.
Edwin, you mentioned extra innings. With the playoffs, no runner on second base if it goes to that. I'm just curious what you and your fellow relievers think of going back to old school baseball, and if you want to see that kind of go back in 2023 for the real season.
We not running on second base is more easy for us because we have to concentrate just in the hitter. We don't have their men on second, so that would be easy for me or any reliever to come to the game for both teams because we just have to concentrate in the hitter, and I think we can do our job better.
First row on the left, Wayne.
Edwin, you ended up getting a lot of rest in the last month of the season. You weren't used that much. Does that rest allow you to pitch multiple innings or consecutive days more and feeling better in October than you normally would have?
This is my first time playing in October, basically my first time. So last month I didn't pitch much because we was winning by a lot of runs, so we was losing close games. So I was doing a lot of work in the bullpen to get ready when they need me. So now I will do the same thing. When they need me, I will come to the game. If they need me for multiple innings, I will be ready because the main goal is win. So we gotta win every series, and my goal is help this team every time when they need me.
Let's stay there on the left, Howie.
Edwin, along those lines, how challenging was it for you to stay sharp when you were basically just working in the bullpen and you'd go up to a week or even longer without getting into a game?
I just was trying to throw my bullpen like I was in a real game. So we got 2 bullpen catchers here. Lange was catching me, and I put Rack as a hitter. So I was thinking he was one of the hitters. So he go 1 AB righty, 1 AB lefty, and I was trying to make my pitches like I was in the game.
Did you ever feel when you came into a game, at least concerned that you wouldn't be as sharp as normally?
No, because when I warm up to go to the game, I know I'm good when I'm throwing the ball. So if I got control of my fastball and my slider in the bullpen, I know in the game I will be really good.
We're going to go in the back there. Daniel.
Edwin, se pensaba que este equipo iba a participar en la segunda ronda, como ustedes estaban en el standing. ¿Qué tan difícil para ustedes fue esa derrota y ahora está enfrentándose en uno de los comodines wild card?
No, fue un poquito difícil ya que la meta era ganar la división, pero al final del día no pudimos ganarla. Y no, cuando pasó la serie de Atlanta, nosotros sabemos que tenemos un gran equipo y pues ellos jugaron mejor béisbol que nosotros. Pues nosotros nos preparamos mentalmente para esta serie que vamos a jugar ahora, que va a empezar hoy viernes. Y el equipo está contento y estamos listos para comenzar la serie y tratar de ganar esta serie y avanzar a la próxima.
Second row on the left. Raise your hand.
Edwin, getting back to what Steve mentioned about the entrance music and you saying that the crowd's going to be going wild tonight, how do you kind of control that adrenaline not to be overamped and maybe not to overthrow? How do you control those emotions?
You know, when I come to the game, I don't try to think much. I just try to follow my catcher. So I concentrate to make my pitches. So every time when I'm pitching, I don't try to thinking anything. I just trying to think in what pitch I have to throw. I'm located well. So when I'm coming to the game, I don't thinking anything. I can feel the vibe from the fans. And everything, but at the same time, I'm concentrating to do my job. So when I get to the mound, I block everything and I'm going to do my job.
Anything else for Edwin? Okay, we stay over there in the second row.
Edwin, is there anybody that you spoke with who has postseason experience coming out of the bullpen to kind of get a sense for what it might be like?
No, I haven't spoke with anyone. Maybe I asked later Ottavino and other guys who play in the playoff before, but I think this is another game. This is another game for me. I will try to do my job like always, and when I come to the game, I will try to stay sharp like always.
Okay, we'll take a few more. Right here in the front.
Edwin, ya tienes varios años siendo un pitcher premier de relevo en Grandes Ligas. Háblanos de esta primera expectativa que tienes de ti para la postemporada.
Para la postemporada mi expectativa es tratar de ayudar al equipo a ganar siempre. Desde que me den la bola, sea en la entrada que me den, voy a tratar de hacer mi trabajo siempre, como siempre, mantenerme positivo y prepararme como siempre. Yo creo que la preparación es importante y mi preparación no va a cambiar, voy a mantenerme positivo y tratando de hacer mi trabajo siempre.
Okay, got one more right here on the right, Jennifer.
Edwin, ¿nos puedes describir lo que ha significado este año para ti? Un año donde tal vez muchos dudaban del potencial que tenías y llegar hasta donde has llegado y el éxito que has tenido. ¿Nos puedes describir cómo se siente?
No, me siento súper contento. Yo digo que es una bendición de Dios llegar aquí a Nueva York y no tener la temporada que todo el mundo esperaba y evolucionar de la manera que evolucioné y tener el año que tuve este año. Fue un año de mucho trabajo. Me preparé desde la temporada muerta para llegar listo a Spring Training y tratar de darlo todo, ayudar al equipo a ganar. La meta de nosotros era hacer los playoffs, nosotros tenemos un gran equipo y pues me siento contento y me siento orgulloso de ser parte del grupo de muchachos que pudimos ayudar al equipo a ganar.
Edwin, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to get Brandon Nimmo up here.
Oh, that was impressive, switching back English to Spanish. I don't have that club in the bag, so sorry about that. Yeah, I know a few.
Okay, first question for Brandon. Steve on the left.
Brandon, you were on the team in 2016, but weren't on the playoff roster for that one game. What is your level of anticipation? What are your emotions right now ahead of your first playoff game at Citi Field?
Excitement. Definitely excited coming to the field. And hopeful that the energy will match what I've got in my head. Took an hour and 15 minutes to get to the field today, so I'm hoping that's part of the reason. Lots of people are wanting to come and enjoy this. So, but yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a lot like the Atlanta series, where there's a lot riding on it. And it has that same feeling, but it was good to go through that because I think it's prepared us for heading into this series.
I was going to ask you about that series. I mean, you're one of a handful of key guys who had never experienced a playoff series before. I know the Atlanta series didn't go the way you wanted it to, but just how valuable of a situation to go through do you think that was heading into your first postseason?
Yeah, I think it was invaluable. To be able to get that almost precursor, just one series before the playoffs. So I think it was really helpful to have that. I liked the at-bats that I had during that series. And so, I think it's definitely something to draw on for the guys that weren't having as much playoff experience as some of the other guys in the clubhouse. So I'll definitely be drawing on that experience, and it'll be nice to be at home and hopefully be feeding off of that energy as well.
Down in front here, Anthony.
Somewhat similar question, Brandon. Just looking back over the last week, how long did it take you guys to kind of get over that and move on to the fact that now you have the Padres for 3 games? And was that difficult, or was it easy for you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think Monday we knew that it was a long shot to win the division by that point, but we were going to give it everything that we had and finish the season strong. And I liked the way that we came out and competed on the doubleheader on Tuesday. And, it probably wasn't a bad thing that we got a day to kind of gather the thoughts and move on. But, these guys, we've all been preaching since the beginning that once you get in the playoffs, then all bets are off. And so we all knew that whether it was with the division or whether it was with the wild card, once you get in there, all that matters at that point is who gets hot and who plays well, and you can take it all the way to the World Series. So I think by Tuesday those guys had all put it behind them, and we're just trying to win ball games and get ready for the playoffs.
Front row here, far on the right.
You, Pete, and Jeff are kind of in the same situation in that you've all been part of this core for a few years. You're having your first postseason experience together. What has that been like for you?
It's been great. I mean, obviously, Pete and Jeff are amazing players and all-stars, batting champion, home run, all that stuff. Like, there's all these accolades to go along with them, and I've enjoyed being with them for this process. It's been a long time coming. We've had a lot of hard work to get to this point, and now it's just the time to turn it loose and have fun out there. I'm excited for these guys in this situation. It's like I said, I'm excited for this atmosphere, and I kind of got spoiled on it in the beginning, being a part of the atmosphere in 2016. I got to be in the dugout. I got to enjoy it, and I thought this is how it was going to go for a while. And now it's 6 years in between, so I'll definitely be out there enjoying every minute of it, and I'm sure they will be too. They're fierce competitors, but they enjoy playing this game and playing it at the highest level.
Stay here on the right in second row, Anthony.
Brandon, how long does it normally take you to get here?
Normally takes me 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So I hope that this is a good indication that a bunch of people are going to be here. We're going to be sold out, and the fans will be rowdy.
Howie, first row on the left.
Brandon, given that it's only been a month, really, since you played with Marte, do you have to remind yourself of how aggressive he is and just kind of be aware, since it's been a little while since you played in the same outfield with him?
Yeah, I mean, we played 5 months together, and I think it's more weird to not have him out there. So once he gets back out there, I'm sure that our ebb and flow and feel of each other will go right back to where it was before. I'm very, very comfortable with Starling out in the outfield, and I'm very, very comfortable with Starling, hitting behind me. But I'm not sure exactly how the lineup's written right now. I don't know if he's going to be right behind me or not, but Sixth, okay. So then that'll have no. It won't have any, action on how I take my at bat. So I'll just be glad to have him back in the lineup.
Nice adjustment.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go in the back, in the middle. Just raise your hand for the mic.
Hey, Brandon. Understand your focus is on today and the playoffs, but obviously you're going to be a free agent after the year. Just have you thought about, these could be your last few days, your last few weeks with the Mets?
I hadn't, but I guess that's a good point. I guess I really didn't think about it till just now, because I was used to the regular season being it done, but had to kind of adjust the expectations again, there, and so I haven't really thought about the finality of the end yet, and so I hadn't really thought about that, but yeah, I guess that gives even more reason to try and not make these the last ones. I'd like to win the last one. That would be good. Be the last team standing. Now I haven't given it much thought, I guess, and but I've had great memories here this year, and however it works out, I will think fondly of this place.
Anything else for Brandon? Brandon, thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
That includes the Mets pregame interview room. Padres Juan Soto will be in at 5:15. Huh?
Hope you'll be getting my column every week.
I get it every day.